some of this video we have here. And when he saw the head snap, not once, not twice,
but continuously,
against some of the best fighters, maybe somebody in his team said, let's find a way to bail out this one. Now, we don't know that happened.
No, we don't know that, but it looks like it.
But, honestly, I can't even think of another possible reason why the rug was pulled out like this.
Yeah, I can't either.
Because, okay, let's say he failed the vision test. Well, he would have known that when he took it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
The vision test that he took, he passed.
Yeah.
And he knew at the time that he passed.
Yeah.
He failed a test after passing it without taking another test.
Yep.
This is the straightforward logic. So somebody pulled a fast one. And the first thing that they needed to do before they de-sanctioned the fight is give a formal, explicit explanation for why they did it. And not somebody just called Darnell up, identify himself, and he doesn't know him from Adam. It might be nothing but a clerk in somebody's office, and say, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
That's improper. At the very least, they owe a very, very explicit public explanation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And whoever is behind it has got to be put on the spot.
They do. And I've got the box rec right here for Bivol pulled up, and appreciate it, Joy. And he's fought Jackson Jr. his last fight, who was 19-4, and he's fought Felipe Romero, 19-8. He fought Joey Vegas, which is 17-10. Then his very first fight, he fought Jorge Rodriguez Oliveira, which was 25-10. And on paper, that's exactly right. Like just you said a minute ago, they look a lot better. They look better than Darnell. Then all of a sudden, once you dig deep into Darnell's numbers and you start looking at actual opponents, you go, holy shit. You stop and you think, well, this guy's fought them all.
Yeah, exactly, because as I pointed out to you the last time when we talked about Bivol, is that he's fought some very second-rate fighters, but actually much better than the earliest fighters in a young fighter's career. He's got much better fighters than most of them do. And we thought, let's go ahead and take it easy this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this guy, 24 and 22. He looks good. I mean, my goodness. Yeah, that's exactly it. I was even thinking
Jay, I want you to shoot me Darnell's numbers on there, please. His box rec stuff, real quick, if you don't mind. And just because it's right.
I think writing a facetious little article about how Bivol should fight Darnell Boone. And what I really would have been doing was giving him all of the steps he needed to take to get himself knocked out. Yeah, like in the draft. Darnell Boone is one of these fighters who
yes.
Shell when you have him on the rope, and he doesn't like it when you get inside of him, so just press him really hard, try to push him back against the ropes, and unload both hands. He especially throw a lot of left.
Now look at this. I mean, when you start and you go through and look at this, all right, now his resume, all right, Adonis Stevenson, Sergey Kovalev, Willie Monroe Jr., Sergey Kovalev, Adonis Stevenson. Okay. Come on, let's go down. Hoyt Rodriguez, which is Edwin Rodriguez. There's back-to-back guys that were superstars. It was Londe Lara, okay? Calvin Green, Curtis Stevens, Keep going. James Johnson. Oh my goodness, there's John Pascal. There's Andre Ward. The names are just unbelievable. You know? They really are. And it makes you, so I just like you said, they went, whoa, wait a minute, we're about to boo-boo here.
Yeah. I mean, we really have to emphasize that we don't have all of our facts, but with what we have and even what we can imagine, I don't see any other possibility than somebody took a closer look and panicked.
Exactly. I don't either. I mean, maybe they read our article that we got up.
That's understandable that they would do that, but for a state athletic commission to be corrupt enough to play along with it.
Yeah, that's the part that's got me kind of puzzled.
Formal explanation, and they have no right to desanction the fight without having done that first.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right.
Wow. Well, this is a very disturbing development, Prophet, but I might as well tell you that I'm not giving up on it. I don't have any power, but I can kind of coax people who do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what's happened. And like you said, it is speculation. Are we speculating? Yeah, we are speculating in a way. But when you start, your first glance at a record and you think, oh yeah, this is going to be a breeze. When you start looking at the other guys he's fought, 19-4, 18-2, guy undefeated. When you start looking at Darnell's record, his team don't fight guys that's like that. If he fights a guy that's 7-8, this guy gets knocked out in the second round. Okay.
So he took my strategy. That's exactly what would have had him doing.
Yeah. I mean, the last time he fought a guy, I mean, he loses the guy that's either undefeated or is the best of the best. You know?
Right.
Plain and simple, and that's just it. And several times, as we pointed out and read that article that you did about him, he's been robbed. I mean, he really has. He's been robbed. The Derek Webster fight's one of the last pure robberies I can remember of his, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if I can pull that up. Derek Webster. They both weighed in at once. Darnell weighed 164.5. Derek weighed 164. One judge, Louis Rivera, sees it in Darnell's favor, 57-56. All right, and the other two judges see it. For Webster, okay? You know what BoxRec says, close bout, but it looked like Boone won to us. But cards could have gone either way. You know, Derek Webster was undefeated at the time, you know? And we got into the Kovalev split decision. And when we all know who Sergey Kovalev is, of course we just did it. We just handled that, you know, which they don't have they won't allow you to tap into that one. We beat Willie Monroe. I can't believe he got the Willie Monroe decision. It kind of shocked me.
Let me make a blanket statement here.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime an unknown fighter loses a split decision to a marquee fighter like Kovalev, he beat him handily.
Yes. You're right. Anytime that happens, you're absolutely right.
We're talking about a fight that wasn't even that close.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that close. I've watched it several times.
No, but we're talking about at least a several point advantage if it's scored fairly.
In Darnell's favor. It was an 8-round fight. All right. And every judge has it 76-75. Every judge. But one has it, you know, Andy Morgan scored it in Darnell's favor, and Aaron Dutch and Edward Canner scored it in Kovalev's favor. And like you said, plain and simple, when a guy that has Darnell's record at that time, which was, I'm trying to remember exactly, I think it was like 17-15, 16-16, 17-15-3. Thank you, Louie. Sorry, Joey. My bad. I got Hallelujah and a Joy that does that. But, and, yeah, so there's no way. You're right. I mean, anytime that happens right there, when a guy like Kovalev, who's undefeated at the time, okay, you're 9-0, supposed to be a megastar, going to be a megastar, has become a megastar, don't get me wrong, he has, and I mean, we just, like, title of the show is Kovalev, Pascal2, you know, and he wins a split decision against somebody at 17-15, that means he got it at 17-15, crushed him.
Yeah, exactly. The fighter is fairly well known. Sometimes you get historically even decisions that are absolutely horrible. Mm-hmm. Like the first Joe Louis, Jersey Joe Walcott, when Walcott put him down twice, nearly knocked him out, and left Joe Louis all bruised up very badly and unsteady. And Louis actually said to him after the decision, "I'm sorry, Joe." And they handed it to Joe Louis. He didn't want to win this way.
Mm-hmm. But,
well, that's one of the unfortunate things about boxing, that when there is no knockout and the ring judges have to decide the fight, number one, they can make bad mistakes. And with certain kinds of fighters, that's more likely. And number two, it's a tendency for people to become very corrupt when a really high-profile boxer is fighting somebody who's not supposed to be that good, but is cleaning his clock. It's just like those NBA games where Michael Jordan is getting beaten by somebody who's not really that much of a player by comparison, but the rest bail him out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, well, he's Michael, so Jeff Hornacek couldn't possibly have gotten past him. That had to be a foul, an offensive foul. I'm listening to a play when Jeff Hornacek, who nobody will tell you is in Michael Jordan's class, made a move on Jordan so good that Jordan almost literally lost his job right there on the court, left him there teetering and tottering, almost fell. Jordan drew his fist back. He wanted to punch Hornacek, and the only reason he didn't do it is that he almost lost his balance and had to keep from falling. The ref called it an offensive foul. Those are the kind of decisions that Darnell Boone always gives.
Yeah. You're right.
Now, you know, I'm sick of it because I know it's human nature. But you know what? We really ought to be better than that. If Kovalev is so darn good, then he ought to be able to beat Darnell Boone if somebody thinks that Darnell Boone isn't. And if Darnell Boone beat him for whatever reason that night, then he earned that victory. And whoever Kovalev is, Darnell should have been the winner.
Exactly.
And that's the reason why when somebody praises a fighter who can't knock anybody out as the greatest, I disagree. Because so long as the fight goes into the ring judge's hands, anything can happen, no matter what happened in the ring. And a fighter who knocks out his opponent, as Matthew Saad Muhammad said before the second fight against Marvin Johnson, my right hand will be the ring judge.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And that's why in some of these fanboy arguments we talk about how knockouts aren't necessary, etc. They absolutely are, and for other reasons too.
Man, yeah, I'm sitting here and I've got Darnell pulled up on BoxRec right now, and I don't normally go to BoxRec, you know, and I generally don't. But I was just going through and I'm looking at like the Ward card, for instance. Let's look at the way they scored the Ward fight. A judge, now everybody knows that Darnell's the only man to ever put him on the canvas, right? Two judges scored this thing 57-56. That means